Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about the 9-9 portal that is coming up. I do believe the energy is already here. It does have a 14-day shadow side period on either side, and it peaks on September 9th. All right, so I'm not sure exactly where we're going to go with this. I felt out a few decks, and we'll just see. We'll go with the flow on this one. So nines are the number of personal power, awakening, rebirth, and high potential for growth. It's a perfect time to release any stagnant or limiting energies and boost success of your current projects. This is also a sobering time when the realization of manifestations with actual universal law with regards to what you must know at what we most know as laws of attraction, karma, like attracts like, and so forth come into play. We are still in Saturn retrograde, so we will see the results of manifestation regardless of frequency coming back. It will be easy to manifest unwisely at this time and reciprocate like to like, so be careful. If lighter energy is not the only return, denser energies will as well, okay? But this return is a hidden blessing. It is a test to see what habits, traits, limiting beliefs, characteristics, and low vibrations still needs to work to allow for that space for your highest good to come through. It's a good time to work on releasing what no longer serves, and it can also help reclaim your power. Expressing gratitude any chance you get and manifesting responsibly during this time will also manifest the energies needed through these powerful shifts. Many ways I do that. I just find every moment to be grateful for. Um, that's why I always comment on every video I see, say thank you, say thank you. It's always good to put out that positivity, even in the smallest of ways. Even hitting the like button does it, okay? So it's a hidden blessing for you, but it's also just really nice to do, right? You'd want that back, if you were putting that energy out, right? Like, yeah, all right. So this portal will amplify all those shifts. You assume a 14-day shadow period front and back, depending on where you're at in the ascension process, okay? So everyone's got a different timeline right now on whatever path. So just be aware these energies are going to shake things up a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and pull from Numerology, and yes, I will read from the book because that has a lot of meanings to it. All right, Spirit, what guidance do you have for the collective at this time for the 9-9 portal? What should we be aware of? More specifically than these shifting energies coming back as far as what's been manifested. All right. Thank you. We have the end of a tough cycle approaches, full moon in Capricorn. All right. That's pretty simple to find in the book. There we go. How hard are you willing to work for what you want? This card is reminding you that the effort is required. Work issues may come about to a head when this card comes up. If you're wondering if you should stay in your job or leave, this card could be a strong sign to make an exit. The end of a rough time is forecast. This card also asks you to consider how ambitious you are and whether you're prepared to pull out all the stops to make your professional dreams come true without being ruthless. With a love question, this card could be a call to face reality. Whatever situation you're asking about, making a plan will help. If your personal life is troubled, prioritize it more. Attune to the moon, release control and trust the universe. Additional meanings, a professional project may be ending now. Admit if you've been overly hard-headed or hard-nosed. Find a balance between your personal and private lives. It's time to stop fearing the worst. The teaching of this card has a very strong work ethic and energy and will be more likely come up when you're asking a professional question. If your question is about another matter, it will serve as a much-needed reminder to move through any feelings of hopelessness you may have been feeling about your situation. This card applies no matter when you draw the card. Making a plan is a far better use of your time. So that goes in line with any of the changes that might need to be happening. Just be on the lookout to be prepared for whatever else you might have to come across. At least all eventualities, right? Without being too worried about it. All get a card from Animal Spirit Guides. Actually, we'll do two. One. Thank you. You have the cheetah. Get clear on your intention. Stay focused and move quickly to achieve your goal. A very good piece of advice regarding manifestation. Gorilla. Take the time to listen compassionately to those you love, especially your family members. Let's get a chakra card. All right, into proper shuffling the spirits. Is there any chakras we need to work on? Any aspects we need to pay attention to at this time during the portal? Thank you. We have number 11, inspiration. That is sacral chakra. It is time to get inspired. Find your passion and share it with the world. Inspiration is constantly flowing through and around you at all times and is inviting you to align with and connect to its powerful creative energy. What inspires you and makes your soul shine? It's time to surround yourself with inspiring people, books, experiences, and anything that infuses you with inspiration. Have you been feeling bored and stale? What do you love to do that brings you creative inspiration? Whatever it is that fills you with energy, it is now time to bring it into your world. When you are driven by inspiration, it brings motivation, joy, and happiness into your being. This wave of energy will bring forth amazing positivity into your world, allowing you to feel content and with a sense of purpose to your life. When you are inspired and living in this vibration, those around you benefit as the state of being is truly infectious, and you start to also inspire others. And since I coughed in the middle of that was random. What message is that? I'm still remembering these too. All right. Cough signifies clairaudient throat chakra response. Heads up to pay attention and speak truth. So maybe that's something somebody needs to do. You may have a throat chakra blockage. It's kind of like a heads up on that. Communication with spirit for any reason. It's time to reconnect, guys. Okay. See, I knew that had some significance to this. Usually, everything that happens in a reading happens for a reason, right? All right, so New Orleans Oracle. I've also decided to pull on. We'll do a couple. Yeah, literally a couple. Don't have space for more than that. Here we go. All right, Spirit, further advice for whomever this will resonate for during the 9/9 portal. 1. Nice. 2. All right. We have number 14, adventure. 14 breaks down to a 5, so changes. And then we immediately progress to a 6 with number 24, keep going. So it's in the right direction. 14, adventure. It is easy to get caught up in the obligations of completing everyday chores. So much so that the very essence of inspiration, circling back to the sacral chakra over there, and excitement can slowly fade away. Before we know it, life becomes one long day of completing task after task. This card shows up because it's time for adventure. Adventures can be had near and far. It's all about paying attention to what brings the feeling of renewed excitement into your being. Whether it's taking a day trip to a fun and unfamiliar place or checking out a new activity that piques your interest, it's definitely time to break the cycle of what your days have turned into. It's time to explore and renew yourself with inspirational energy by having an adventure. So, given that 9s are the number of personal power, awakening, rebirths, and high potential for growth, your adventure could also highlight some new things about your journey that you weren't aware of, as well as give you opportunities to shake things up, right? And expose the things that need some work. So, hey, look, I like triggers. They do just that. They expose what needs to be healed, right? When you heal things, you raise your vibration and you get stronger. So that the next trigger is like, that ain't nothing, right? 24, keep going. There are many times when we feel like we've had enough, done enough, and been through enough. These feelings of frustration are just reminders that we are not yet where we want to be, but we are on our way. Take a moment to count the small milestones that are contributing to the bigger picture, just like every little stone piece along this pathway, right? Okay. Sometimes we can be so focused on where we are not that we forget just how far we've come. Right now, it is important that you continue to move forward no matter how small the steps may seem. You are on the right track, and success will be inevitable. But if you allow yourself to dwell on the negative thoughts or put your energy into things that you cannot control, then you are more likely to buy into the illusion of being stuck, and it will be harder for you to move forward. So keep going. And anytime I feel like that, I'm just seeing the same stepping stone every single time. I tap into my inner child and I just start skipping along and counting and, kind of like pretending like it's hopscotch or something along a path that looks like that, right? Because looks can be deceiving. You can make it fun, keep it as an adventure, right? Even though it seems like it's the same old, you can break up the routine by changing your perspective on how the path looks, right? All right. So I wanted to get also some advice from the Foxfire Kitsune. This is beautiful. It's got a lot of messages in it for us. This portal is going to open up for so much for so many different people. It's going to be beautiful. All right. Oof, nice. And again, yes. Removing what no longer serves you keeps popping up. Beautiful. Absolutely. Declutter. Number 33 breaks down to a 6. 3s and 6 might be important to you. Leave behind what no longer serves you. All right, here we are. Sometimes when we feel we are being what is called by humans true to ourselves, we are in fact not being true to ourselves at all. At times we develop habits of self, and who we are has become an old story we tell ourselves and others over and over again until it seems natural and inevitable. This, after all, is who we are. We believe. But the truth is now here for you. And some of who you are have told yourself you're about to get is a shakeup. And you will find yourself walking through the gateways into a new version of who you are and leaving behind who you once thought you were. This will be a raw time, a time when we feel vulnerable and exquisitely sensitive. Love that. That's so perfect. Sensitivity should always be exquisite. Yet it is good work that we do when we no longer follow a pattern, but seek instead to become who we are next meant to be. But in order for this to take place, something must be left behind before you walk through this gateway. Choose what feels less true than ever it has before, and choose what still feels like a pattern you have attachments to. For once you walk through the gateway adorned with all these attachments and entwinings that ivy can bring, we will cease to make our former self and others and responsibilities our major commitment. Instead, your own undoing and rebecoming will surface and demand its place in this next stage of your life. This is a gate of freedom you walk under. First, though, put down the burden of attachment to who you believe you are, or more truthfully, who you believe you ought to be. Rebirth yourself, dear friend, and allow the gateway of the realm of the Kitsune to work its magic upon your endless reimagining of who you are. Beautiful. And I'm going to close that out with some guidance and advice from Isis. This is definitely spiritual of nature, some kind of awakening, rebirth process, somewhere in between, challenging whatever you thought was to be the norm, or what others think of us as the norm, or whatever. Let's just go ahead and see what Isis has to suggest to embolden us. Please and thank you, darling. I do believe this is my message. I'm already seeing at least 2 cards that I've been getting repeatedly over the last week in my own readings, my self-readings. One more, darling. Thank you. All right. We have the flower of life. You are entering a fertile period of your life. You are guided to think of yourself as a creative being and to surrender your control over how things will manifest, and instead allow them to do so. Don't resist change. Instead, go with the flow and let it happen. Now is the time for your blossoming. I'll let you look at the back side of that. Next one. Next one. Past life, present power. As the soul grows in service to the great feminine and her intention that all beings be healed and free, it gathers internal resources to assist on the path. These resources include powers and gifts from other lifetimes, currently integrating past life abilities. Be open to what is taking place as your soul awakens ancient power and abilities in you. The brother in darkness. Whenever negative energy is present, it is a sign that we are ready to move more deeply into our feminine divine power. You shall overcome any negative energy with grace and triumph. Stay in your heart. There is no need to be afraid. There you go, guys. Happy 9/9 portal. Have a good one. Bye.